So you've been scouring the internet all off-season looking for tight ends. The problem is, fantasy football's right around the corner and you didn't look at any tight ends the football kind. Well, it's right around the corner. Let's dive into some top 24 tight end rankings for 2019. What's going on, everybody? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully you guys are doing well out there. Welcome back to the Draft.com studios. Today we're talking tight ends. Yes, the football kind of tight ends here for Fantasy Football 2019. And we're going to get into our top 24 rankings. Everybody knows who the first three names on the list are, but what happens after they're gone on draft day? Then who do you really look towards? That's what we're going to be, looking at here today. Before we dive right into it, make sure you head over to our website. Check it out over there, thefantasyheadliners.com. Not only more information to check out, but also check out our draft guide. It's on sale right now, $19.99, and it's almost 500 pages of straight fantasy football fire to help you dominate your fantasy football leagues here in 2019. So go check that out also. But for now, let's talk about the top 24 tight ends for 2019 fantasy football. All right, here we go. We're kicking it off at the top. We're starting at number one. Why? Because you guys probably already know who the top three names are anyway. No need me building up suspense to names you already know about. So number one, here we go. It's tight end Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. Is this one really up for debate? I mean, I guess if you're an Eagles fan, it may be, or maybe a 49ers fan, but Travis Kelce is in the perfect position to have another great season. It depends on how many games Tyreek Hill misses, but he could come in here once again and dominate at the tight end position. That's who I have as number one. Number two, Zach Ertz. If I really have any worries about Zach Ertz, it's really Carson Wentz. Can he stay healthy? Because there's no more Nick Foles behind him to help out throughout the season if Wentz goes down. But Zach Ertz, another one of these high-volume tight end targets. Yes, Deshaun Jackson is there now. He may take away a few targets here or there. They got plenty of weapons in the backfield. Zach Ertz, though, still a solid tight end. Number three is going to be George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. Any concerns about him really just revolve around the chemistry between him and Jimmy G. Do they really mesh well? Does the usage that we saw from George Kittle continue this year? Probably not. There wasn't really a whole lot of other options in that offense at times last year, and Kittle was the main beneficiary. Now they have Marquise Goodwin back. They've drafted Deebo Samuel. Dante Pettis takes a step forward. There's other options in this offense. I think his volume may regress a little bit, but he still has more than enough opportunity to be one of these top three tight ends. Number four is going to be O.J. Howard of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and things are really lining up well for him here in 2019. We've spent a lot of time on other videos talking about Jameis Winston and Mike Evans and the new Bruce Arians offense coming in. We know about Chris Godwin and speedster out of the slot, possibly Justin Watson. There's a lot of potential firepower in this offense. We also know their running game blows, and they're not going to be able to run the ball. Their defense, average to below average at best, depending on matchups, and they're going to have to rely on throwing the ball a lot this season. O.J. Howard is definitely somebody who could be the beneficiary of some increased volume. He has that big playability. He's not just a 3 to 5 yard route guy that's going to turn around, sit on the sticks, and just wait for a first down pass. He's going to help stretch the field. And like I said, there's other options there to take away defensive attention. O.J. Howard's number four for me. Number five for me is going to be Evan Engram of the New York Giants. We've kind of seen flashes of him before in the past, right? And a lot of the reasons has been because at the time, he was one of the main options in their offense. Well, we know no more Odell Beckham. They've brought in Golden Tate. They still have Sterling Shepard. And we already know that Saquon Barkley is going to touch the ball 3 times shy of a buttload in the backfield of the New York Giants. However, Evan Engram at the tight end position, it's a position that's already thin and weak as is. He could see some of the most targets at the tight end position out of all the other tight ends available here after the big names are off the board. Yes, we have to worry about Eli Manning. We may have to worry about Daniel Jones, but Evan Engram, the volume should be there, and he's really a wide receiver playing the tight end position. He has game-breaking speed. He can make the big play, and Evan Engram is in line to have a decent, above-average 2019, and I have him as tight end 5 right now. Number 6 is going to be Hunter Henry of the Los Angeles Chargers, friend of the show here. Love Hunter. Really excited for him to return this season after missing all of last year. He comes back. He should be 100% healthy. No more Antonio Gates. No more Tyrell Williams. So there's going to be some targets and volume available for him. And we already know that Phillip Rivers likes to throw to his tight ends in the end zone. And basically all throughout the game. Hunter Henry should be a big part of this offense, and I really like the upside for him and for where you can draft him here this year. Give me Hunter Henry at tight end 6. Number 7 is going to be Vance Mcdonald of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we already know there's a lot of vacated targets there by Antonio Brown leaving. No more Jesse James. Vance Mcdonald is a big athletic tight end that's capable of making big plays and stiff-arming people to like the next county over. Dude is a beast. He's going to have the opportunity in a very high passing-powered offense. Love Vance Mcdonald. I have him all the way up at tight end 7 here to start 2019. Number 8 is going to be Jared Cook of the New Orleans Saints. This guy's kind of hard to figure out, and it's not so much Jared Cook's fault. He's coming off a huge, great year with the Oakland Raiders. But did the Saints get back to their old ways and really start utilizing the tight ends more? Like they used to in the Jimmy Graham days. They haven't really had a consistent, solid producer at that position since Jimmy Graham left years and years ago. Jared Cook gives him that other option of that big, athletic tight end. And we already know that there's really not a solid number 2. I mean, we know that Traquan Smith is there and Ted Ginn. But outside of Michael Thomas, there is no clear-cut number 2 receiver unless you include Alvin Kamara into that mix. Jared Cook could have some nice touchdown upside. And I'm looking at him to have another top 10 season once again here in 2019. He's tight end 8 for me. Number 9, this is where I put Eric Ebron. And I do think that he regresses slightly. There's more options in this offense this year in Indianapolis. Not so many touchdowns possibly to buy in 2019 that there were in 2018, and we don't go into the next year buying previous year's touchdowns. We just don't do it over here. I think he's still involved in that offense, but Jack Doyle coming back is going to eat into a little bit of that upside as of right now. Number 10 is going to be Austin Hooper, Atlanta Falcons. He's kind of like the Lamar Miller of the tight end position. He's not sexy. He's not flashy. Somewhat consistent, somewhat safe floor. If you miss out on all the top names above him, he gives you a solid starter on a weekly basis. Number 11, David Njoku. I love the athletic ability and talent of David Njoku. What I don't love is the amount of people that he's going to have to share targets with. Nick Chubb in the backfield. You got Odell and Landry, Antonio Callaway, Rashard Higgins. There's a ton of options in this offense. We've talked about it a lot. David Njoku may have the talent and upside. He just may not have the opportunity, which drops him a little bit farther down the list. It could be a little bit inconsistent from week to week. Number 12, this is where my boy Jack Doyle comes in, and he's a lot higher on my list than a lot of others. And it's not just because I like to say his name. This is really a guy that's going to see a larger target share possibly than Eric Ebron. They're going to utilize him all throughout the field. He has the chemistry with Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck looks for him a lot in the middle of the field. He may not have the huge yardage numbers, but he could rack up the receptions really, really quick. And if you're in a PPR league, I do not hate on Jack Doyle. Number 13 is going to be Mark Andrews, another guy who I'm a little bit higher on of the Baltimore Ravens. And I really don't like any other piece of the Baltimore Ravens passing offense other than Mark Andrews. This, to me, screams George Kittle breakout. This is kind of how I see him. Now, am I going to reach for him? No, you really don't have to. But I love Mark Andrews. I love the possibility, the upside. He's going to kind of give that safety valve to Lamar Jackson. Plus, he has that athletic ability to make something happen once the ball's in his hands. I don't hate on Mark Andrews. I have him as tight end 13, just outside of the top 12. Number 14 is going to be TJ Hawkinson, and he may be higher on this list, but I can't just seem to forget what Eric Ebron was in this same offense for the Detroit Lions. Another high-end pick come in and totally underproduced in an offense that's a heavy passing offense. Hawkinson now comes into the same thing. They're going to try to establish the run a little bit more this year. They've kind of committed to that with their new offensive coordinator and Darrell Bevell. They have other options on the outside. Kenny Galladay. You have Marvin Jones that comes back. We already know about Kerryon Johnson, CJ Anderson in the mix. Nothing against Hawkinson. I just don't know if he gets the opportunity to put up the big offensive numbers. He's a great pass blocking tight end, and I think once they utilize him that way to help protect Stafford, he may lose out on a few opportunities down the field. All right, number 15 is going to be Greg Olson, and he may be 3 years shy of 60, it feels like, and his ankle ligaments may be comprised of old chewed-up purple now and laters and rusty paper clips, but the guy is coming back again this year, and we already know he has that connection with Cam Newton. Maybe not so much down the field like we're used to seeing in the past. I do have my worries about Cam Newton. I have my worries about the injuries to Greg Olson, but we know one thing. In this offense, he's produced before, and he's been a consistent producer when healthy. If he can stay healthy, he's a solid tight end 2 for you here in 2019. Number 16 is Jimmy Graham, but the hype for Jimmy Graham has to be over. I mean, we cannot overhype it. I don't care what team he plays for. He's not 100% healthy, and we already know that the Packers don't utilize their tight ends a lot in their offense. They did draft Jay Sternberger. Jimmy Graham is nothing more than a bye-week fill-in injury replacement for me at this point. He's right now at tight end 16, and he does have some value, maybe in tight end premium league, something like that, but it's not the Jimmy Graham of old. If you draft him, don't be overexcited because you're not getting the dude that played for the Saints. You're just not. He's a different player now. He's older, and he's just battling injuries consistently. I have him all the way down at number 16. Number 17, another one of these old guys, Delanie Walker. I like Delanie Walker, missed almost all of last year. Coming back from injury this year, he still has Marcus Mariota to worry about, though, who just struggles throwing the ball down the field. Walker has been a consistent producer in the past, but those days may be past him now. He's in the back half of his career. It's not a very strong passing offense to begin with. They already have Corey Davis and A.J. Brown and Adam Humphries. I just don't know if there's enough to go around for Delanie Walker to have the same type of seasons that we're used to seeing in his career before last season. All right, getting down in here into 18, and this is where we start taking total crapshoots. 18, Trey Burton. There's a lot to worry about with Trey Burton. The problem is he may not have that consistency week to week. Adam Shaheen's going to be a part of this offense. Trey Burton, though, is a big play type of guy, and he's going to have good weeks. If you're just looking for a bye week fill-in or trying to hit a lottery ticket because you passed on tight end the entire draft, Trey Burton isn't a horrible option. He's just not going to give you that warm fuzzy on a week to week. Number 19 is going to be Noah Fant of the Denver Broncos, another young rookie. We already know that rookie tight ends tend to struggle a little bit when they come in. He's being put into a good position. We know Joe Flacco likes to utilize his tight ends. He gives them another quick, big red zone target. Noah Fant could have some decent games. He won't be consistent like you like him to, but keep an eye on Noah Fant. He's definitely somebody that, if he can build momentum in this offense, could really surprise a lot of people here in 2019. 20, it's going to be Chris Herndon. He'd be higher up this list, but we already know he's going to be suspended for the first 4 games of the season. If you pass on tight end, or maybe you get one of these lower level guys, consider taking Herndon late in your draft. After the 4th week of the season, you'll have yourself a potential top 10 option, top 12 option once he comes back from suspension. Number 21 is going to be Gerald Everett of the Los Angeles Rams, another one of these young, athletic, big play capable tight ends. And this one's really going to depend. I think the health of Todd Gurley really plays into a part of this. If Todd Gurley's out of the game, they'll be looking for other weapons, other ways. And Gerald Everett fits that mold. He has that big play potential, just doesn't have the consistency. He's going to be tight end 21. 22, it's Kyle Rudolph of the Minnesota Vikings, and this one may be interchangeable. Depending on how this offseason goes, I know they brought back Rudolph. This very easily could just be slotted in as Irv Smith Jr. Let's see how it happens here the offseason. Let's see how they utilize him in training camps and the preseason. Either way, though, this is another one of those options for a Minnesota Vikings offense that could utilize another target this season. Try to stay away from just nothing but Thielen and Diggs in the passing game. Try to give them one other option to help spread open the field. I have him at tight end 22. Number 24 is going to be Mike Gesicki of the Miami Dolphins, and to me, I threw him in here as kind of like a potential wild card. The ability and the talent is there. Can they utilize him in this new system with this new coaching staff with a Ryan Fitzmagic or a Josh Rosen? Absolutely possible. Keep your eyes on Mike Gesicki. If he starts to produce well in the preseason, looks great in camp, he may be a total lottery ticket steal for you at the end of your drafts at the tight end position. All right, so those are my top 24 tight ends. Let me know if you would do anything differently. There's a lot of different ways you could see this after the top 3. I'm anxious to see what some of your opinions are out there. Really appreciate the support. Make sure you hit that like button for us. It really, really helps us here on YouTube. Also, head over to the website, check out the draft guide. Lots of great information to help you dominate. Really appreciate the support out there in YouTube land, and we'll catch you guys later. Thanks. Have a good one.